mentorship session. I'm excited that you are here again. This is a Friday evening, beautiful Friday evening, and I really look forward to today. Also, want to apologize that we couldn't air any episode last week. Of course, I had explained to us 2 weeks before, 2 weeks prior, that we were going for an outreach somewhere in southern Borno State, and it was a huge success. Um, Great outing, and we're back. So we are going to continue with our online mentorship session today. I believe that today is going to be exciting, informative, educative, and thought provoking, as well as life transforming. I believe that the things that we're going to hear discussed on this platform will really shape our thought pattern and understanding about leadership, because we're going to discuss a little about leadership today, and it's just something to challenge you to the kind of leadership that you would want to model as an individual. And so that's why today is really a go-to for every one of us who are part of this show. So do me a favor, like we always do, it's our drill. Hit the like button. Let that be the first thing that you get to do. Hit the like button and then begin to share this broadcast with as many as you can. Hit the like button right now and begin to share. All right? If you're watching by Facebook, please do well to follow our page on Facebook, be a part of our social community, so you can be part of everything that we do on that platform. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is an exciting time for you to hit the subscribe button, because there are notifications you will get about other programs and every other thing that we get to do on that platform. That being said, I'll give you about a minute or two to get that done before we get started today. It's going to be an amazing time. An amazing time. So please go ahead, like, share, subscribe, follow, and then engage with me on our live chat session. Let me know where you are watching from our live chat session. Okay, so go there, let me know what city, what nation you're watching from, and we'll get started in a moment. So a big thank you for those who are already on YouTube as well as on Facebook. My big sister says she's watching from Kuala Lumpur. That's from Malaysia. So maybe you are going to add Malaysia as part of the country, because a lot of people may not know Kuala Lumpur. I mean, if we were to go do a quiz now, a lot of people will not be able to guess where Kuala Lumpur is. That's the capital city of Malaysia. So thank you for joining us, Ma. Sharon says she's watching from Adamawa State, and waiting for every one of us to get on today so that we can get the ball rolling. So like, share, subscribe, follow, and then join me at the live chat session. Let me know where you're watching from, and let's see how it goes tonight. Jonathan says, good evening, Daddy. Good evening, sir. Let me know where you're watching from, please. It's good to have you on the show. Godia says she's watching from Maiduguri. Okay. I have a lot of people coming in. Blessing says, I'm watching from Borno State. Yes, Blessings, good to have you on the show. Thank you, Elizabeth Johanna, for joining in today. Yeah, so we'll just keep coming on. It's going to be an exciting time today. I really look forward to what we are going to discuss. As always, it's life transforming, and it's a good way to end your Friday evening for those of us here in West Africa. But you know, the time zones differ. There are people who may be watching now, and it's already their morning. I think from Malaysia, this is about 6 hours ahead. So it should be 1:23 a.m. or so in the night. All right. So to those who may already be in their morning watching this show, thank you for staying awake. And to those who may still be in their early afternoons, thank you for creating time despite the busyness of your work or school schedule to be here. All right, so please like and share and keep doing that all through till we get to the end of the show today. But I'm not going to waste much time. I want us to get on with the discussion tonight, and I believe it's going to be life transforming. It's going to be highly impactful for everyone that is watching right now. Let's begin with a word of prayer. Father, thank you for everyone watching now, and we open our minds to receive wisdom, understanding, quality information that will bring growth, advancement, and strategic increase in our lives, that will help us become better persons in what you have called us to do as far as our purpose through life is concerned. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, yeah, so more and more people joining in, and let's keep that coming on the live chat session. Let me know where you're watching from, what city, what nation. And of course, while the show continues, if any point is raised or pronounced or discussed that really resonates with your heart, please do well to identify by typing it at the live chat session. If you get a point that strikes your heart, please do well to type it down at the live chat session, and also do well to ask your questions on the live chat session. So I have this screen right beside me, and I get to review the chat again and again to see if there are those who have questions, whether about the discussions right now or just something random that you need clarification about. It's a mentorship session, so we're all here to learn and to grow, and that's what I look forward to. That being said, let's get into the business of the day. I want us to discuss about the cutting edge leader. The cutting edge leader. I want us to, go back to reflect a little bit on leadership today. The cutting edge leader. Now, why is leadership so important? In the moment you mention leadership, a good number of people just feel, well, you're talking about a class of people or a set of people, not really me. When you want to get my interest, talk about business, talk about, lifestyle and other things. But the truth is, the more I interact with people, is the more I realize that in almost every human being on planet Earth, there are traits or traces of leadership. In our behavioral patterns, in our disposition about life, our interaction with humans like us, and our environment. As far as social integration is concerned, everybody, one way or the other, has something to do with leadership. John Maxwell says, that leadership is mainly about influence. And research shows that an average human being who doesn't occupy any leadership position at all in their entire lifetime will influence at least 10,000 people before death. From when you are born till the day you die, without any position in life. Let's say you never had a position in elementary school or in high school or in college, that's the university, or maybe in your career, you just lived an average life. You would have influenced at least 10,000 people before your death. Now, anybody that is able to influence or interact with at least 10,000 people is already qualified to be called a leader. Because leadership is mainly about influence, influencing people, influencing systems, creating strategies that can actualize goals for the common good of all. There is leadership in family life, there is leadership in our social space, and how we integrate with others from different culture, different background, different ethnicity, different upbringing and civilization and training. There is leadership in our academia or academic sector. There is leadership in business and finance. There is leadership everywhere. Everyone wants to, one way or the other, be influenced by someone to achieve something. And that's the reason why I think leadership should be embraced by everybody. And again, it is healthy as part of your growth to get to study about leadership. Whether you have to read books, or you have to read journals, or you have to listen to interviews, or you have to follow great leaders in history. History is etched out by influential names of people who, were at the top of their game as far as leadership is concerned. And the reason why you are watching this right now is perhaps because you too will make history by becoming a major influence to the world around you, making the world around you a better place. Perhaps you have a role to play. And if you believe and agree with me on that, then you may need to sit back tightly and listen to the discussions that will be carried out today. And that's the reason why I believe every one of us has a trait or traces of leadership in our DNA. So we want to talk about the cutting edge leader. What do we mean when we say something is at the cutting edge? It means representing the forefront or position of greatest advancement in a field or a sector of society. When you are at the forefront in a particular field, when you are the position of greatest advantage or advancement, you are at the cutting edge. It's almost like, I don't know if I'll call it an idiomatic expression or an action. The edge of a knife has two edges, but only one edge is the cutting edge. So when you say, and that cutting edge is what makes that knife a knife, is what makes it important. Without the cutting edge, it could be used as a tool for another thing. So if you are at the cutting edge of something, you are at the forefront, you are the position of impact, of greatest advantage or advancement in any field of life. The cutting edge also means a frontliner. When someone is cutting edge, he's a frontliner, or she's a pioneer or a pace setter, one who lays down the benchmark, one who sets the pace, one who pioneers, one who introduces patterns and trends that allows for people to become successful in that field, whether it is at the cutting edge of the medical field, or in research, or in science and technology, or in information computer technology, or in sports and entertainment, arts and culture, you are at the cutting edge when you are a frontliner, when you are a pace setter, when you are a pioneer, you are an advancer. That's what it means to be at the cutting edge. It also means to be trendy, to stay up to date, to be trendy and to stay up to date. When you are up to date in a particular field or about a particular thing, you are at the cutting edge. So with all these definitions and many more that you could search through the internet, of course through the dictionary to find, you realize that being at the cutting edge of something places you at a position of importance. You become a reference point. You become a benchmark. You become one that people can look up to for mentorship, for tutorship, to be taught. The one who introduces the trends, the patterns that others follow and copy. In this age of social media, we now have a group of people who call themselves influencers. Maybe because they're at the cutting edge as far as social media communication is concerned. They know how to generate traffic on social media. They know how to use it to their advantage to generate a lot of influence from themselves to others. So being a cutting edge leader means you are a frontliner, means you are a pace setter. It means you set the pace for others to follow. It means that you set the records. You set the benchmark. You are a leader amongst leaders. It means that you are at the top of your game. It means that you have gained a credible amount of influence as far as your leadership in that field is concerned, and you ought to be studied. You ought to be looked at as a reference point. And there are so many of such in our time today. And I really want you to be at the cutting edge or in your field of expertise, whatever you have been called to do. I really think you should aim that high. You should think that far to be at the top. Now, you see, the thing with leadership is you don't have to be the most intelligent. You don't have to be the most smart individual. Someone once made reference to the lion. It's called the king of the jungle and a leader amongst the animals in the animal kingdom. Not because he's the biggest, no. There are animals like the elephants. Not because he's the tallest, no. There are animals like the giraffe. Not because he's the largest. There is the hippo, there are buffaloes. Not because he's the fastest. The cheetah is there, and several other faster animals. Not because he's the strongest. There are a lot of stronger animals. In fact, just in the cat family, there are jaguars. How many of you know who a jaguar is? A very strong animal. That's the only animal that is a nightmare to caimans. When I talk about caimans, I'm talking about crocodiles or alligators. A jaguar hunts both on land and in water. There are other strong animals. The lion is not the king of the jungle because he's any of these. He's the king of the jungle because he's the most courageous. A lion never backs down from anybody. He never turns his back from a fight. So you see that you don't have to be the most intelligent to lead. No. You don't have to be the smartest. Sometimes it's about being responsible for others. Sometimes it's about nursing and developing a healthy ambition to be so great that your greatness influences others into their greatness. Sometimes it is nursing a healthy ambition to succeed so that others can succeed because of your success. Sometimes it is the sheer desire to want to see people enlightened and empowered. These are many more reasons for why you can be a cutting-edge leader. I want you to take note of this. Number one, your success, or you can put in bracket results. Your success and not your goals are what defines you as a cutting-edge leader. Your success and not your goals are what defines you. A lot of people set goals and it can look so nice on paper. I mean, there are some people's whose goals, if you get to see them on paper, I mean, you want to clean out your own and just follow with whatever it is they want to achieve. But hear me, your success and not your goals is what defines you. People are not really going to look at what your goals are, long-term goals, short-term goals, mid-term goals, what you want to achieve. They are going to look at and follow you because of your results. We live in a result-oriented and result-driven world. And it's sad, but you are only able to generate as much influence as the success that emits from you. Why does Cristiano Ronaldo has a lot of following on social media? Because of his results. Is he the most skillful football player in the world? Absolutely no. There are tens and hundreds of more skillful players than him. But none of them have perhaps become as famous as he is. So it is your results. That means that being a cutting-edge leader means you must be result-oriented, result-driven. You set goals to achieve them, not just to appear as someone who wants to succeed. People will not follow you if you want to succeed. They will follow you because you succeed. That's what it means to be a cutting-edge leader. Number two, I want you to take note of this. When you decide to lead with distinction, you become distinguished. When you decide to lead with distinction, you become distinguished. What makes you outstanding amongst others is your willingness to stand out. That's just the meaning of that point. When you decide to lead with distinction, not just do it as others do, but do it with a touch of difference, a sense of success that compels, a sense of excellence that attracts attention. When you decide to lead with distinction, you become distinguished. You become outstanding when you decide to stand out. And of course, it will take more than wishes and desires. It will take a passion. It will take intelligence. It will take strategy. It will take so much for you to lead in such a way that you become distinguished. And I think it's something that you must aspire for in your career, in your field of endeavor, as far as life is concerned. At least within your host community, aspire to be amongst those who are distinguished. So when you decide to lead with distinction, you become distinguished. I've already said it and I'll say it again. For you to be outstanding, you must stand out. For you to be outstanding, you must stand out. And it takes, to stand out, it takes having an optimistic view about what you want to do. Having an objective perspective seeing things in a different light, having what I call the leader's eye, not having a vision that just makes you fall amongst the others or amongst the normal. No. Having a view about it that is different from others. For instance, you can carry with you a spirit of excellence, having a desire to excel in a way and to a point where others have not excelled. That's what it means to stand out. It means you going against the norm. Going against the norm, not satisfied with how people do things, knowing that there's more that can be done, having an insatiable appetite for excellence. These are things that make you stand out. A vision that is compelling enough to make you burn the midnight candle, to make you take sleep away from your eyes until you see that your success etches out a new pathway in that field. We celebrate inventors today because they had a willingness and a desire to stand out. They were not afraid of going against the tide and against the norm. And today we celebrate their inventions. You and I, because they decided not to do it the normal way. Desire not to settle for less. Learn to overcome the enemy called average and fight against the spirit of the norm. These are the things that makes you stand out as a cutting-edge leader. Note this again. Cutting-edge leaders are the benchmark for success. Cutting-edge leaders are the benchmark for success. They are the ones that people will always look at. Where their colleagues strive to be successful, they set the pace by deriving new pathways for success. Oh, let me say that again. Where their colleagues strive to be successful, they set the pace by deriving new pathways for success. Now, that's a cutting-edge leader. They derive new pathways in fields where their colleagues may still be striving. And that's why if you want to do things the normal way, you end up striving like others. But if you decide, no, there's something else that can be done that has not been done, you begin to etch out new pathways. New pathways for success. Solving problems that many have turned down or many have overlooked or turned away or turned a blind eye to. These are the things that qualifies you as a cutting-edge leader. How many of you want to be at the cutting edge in your field, in what you do? How many of you want to stand out? How many of you want to be spoken about? How many of you want to be referred to as the one who created new solutions for the problems that many encountered on their path? How many of you want to be leaders that others will make references to? How many of you want to be leaders that have learned to overcome the limitations and the problems that surround those that are around them? How many of you want to make a difference as far as living is concerned? If you want to be any of these, then you have signed up to be a cutting-edge leader. And all over history, we have men and women like that who dared the storm, raced against the tide, walked against the norm, and became who the world celebrated in their time and even in our time. Yeah. Let me read a portion from the Holy Bible. Proverbs 22:29. Proverbs 22:20. Bible is a book of leaders. A book of leaders. It says, do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. The King James translation of the Bible says in that same verse, seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Tell yourself that I will be at the cutting edge. I will be a cutting edge leader. I will be a problem solver. I will be an innovator. I will be a creator of solutions. When people complain, I will bring solutions. When people allow limitations to swallow them, I will be the one that converts limitations to become stepping stone. It's a desire. If you can desire it well enough and will it, you can see it happen with the right principles in place. Now, speaking about principles, let me give you at least 5 principles of 5 qualities of a cutting edge leader. 5 principles, 5 qualities of a cutting edge leader. Number 1, you want to be a cutting edge leader, embrace this as the number 1 thing you must do. Be business oriented. Be business oriented. In whatever you do, be business oriented. You must treat your work as a business, your career as a business, your leadership as a business, your responsibility as a business. People go into business for the purpose of profit. That means that if you must treat what you do as a business, you must go into it with the mind of seeing profit and productivity. That means you are not going into it to fail. You are not going into it to accumulate or accrue losses to yourself. You go into it because you want to win. You want to win in such a way that it compels people to follow you. You know, such was a man. Look at where we read in Proverbs 22 verse 29. It says, seest thou a man diligent in his business? In his business. He will not stand before mean men or unknown men. He will stand before kings. So the diligence you attach to what you do tells how much profit or productivity you want to cash out from that thing. Do you go into that venture to fail, or do you go into it to succeed? Somebody once said to me, at a season when things didn't seem to work, the person said, hey, say hard luck. And that's one slang or common phrase that Nigerians use, especially in my side of the country. Say hard luck. I don't believe there's anything like that. I don't even believe in luck as a person. I believe that success is highly predictable. There is no luck. If there's anything I would call luck, is that we are all alive. and we all will one day have equal opportunities to showcase the world our level of preparation. But to say I believe in luck means I flout principles. And principles are a more predictable way on which you can predicate existence. The person said hard luck. He said in life, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. I said nothing like that. In life, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You don't lose. A wrong attempt is not a loss. You lose when you quit. You lose when you stop trying. You lose when you give up winning spirit. So you must carry a business orientation into what you do. Listen, a prudent businessman is mindful of profits or gains and works hard to consistently secure it. A prudent businessman is mindful of gains and profit. Is mindful. He goes into it to reap something out of it. He goes into it with an investment mentality. Someday I must yield from this thing. I didn't come into it to waste resources or to waste the attention of people. No. And so he works hard, working with laws and principles to consistently secure it. That's what it means to be business oriented. Let's look at the life of the man called Jesus. In my opinion, the greatest leader of all times. Every religion will agree one way or the other, because no leader in history has the record that Jesus had. The greatest influencer of all time should be studied by every human being that comes to this world, regardless of your religion or background. And I say it with all boldness, you must study the man Jesus, because he came as a human being and did everything as a human being, but did it in a supernatural way. He redefined leadership. He redefined ministry. He redefined social integration. He became famous at a time when there was no technology, when there was no social media, and his fame outlasts even those who came up during social media. Let's look at his life. Mark chapter 1 verse 38. But he said to them, let us go into the next towns, that I may preach there also, because for this purpose I have come forth. So they came to Jesus. Everybody in this area is looking for you. Everybody in this region, this territory is looking for you. You've gained influence, you've gained popularity. Why not just stay here and get satisfied with this level of success? Jesus said, no, let's go to other towns. We've done enough here. Let's go to other places where we could profit. You know, in life, there are times when you need to learn how to diversify. After doing well in a particular field, staying there longer may keep you on the track where you begin to lose. Even businessmen know how to diversify. There's no great businessman on earth today who is into just one aspect as far as their gains in business is concerned. There are times when you need to diversify your strength. There are times when you need to intensify what you do to be more productive. So let's go to other towns, as though he knew he was not going to spend much time doing his ministry on earth. Luke chapter 2 verse 49, we're still looking at the man Jesus. Luke chapter 2 verses 49. It says, and he said to them, why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business? He was business oriented. In John chapter 9 verse 4, he said, I must walk the walk of him who sent me while it is day, for the night comes when no man will walk again. So Jesus understood that there is a season in life where you have strength and you have opportunity to walk, but then there are seasons when you may not have those available again. Everybody should take advantage of the strength of their youth, because no one is a youth forever. No matter what you do, no matter how many times you go into yoga or go into exercises or what, you are growing old by the day. So it is in your youth that you put and deploy all your potentials to work. Maximize your youth to achieve a lot. Go to school to the highest level of degree that you can, because there will be a time when you will not be able to. Even if you have the vision to, you may not have the necessary resources or capacity to do so. So be business oriented. Check time. Do everything you do because you want to see profit and productivity from it. And that's the reason why it is good to invest in yourself. If you want to be a cutting edge leader, build yourself so you can build everything that has been entrusted to your hands. Number 2, creativity. Qualities of a cutting edge leader. Creativity. You must embrace creativity. You must embrace creativity. To be creative means to be innovative, to search for solutions and make them common, to find several ways of doing the same thing without hindering the original process. That's what it means to be creative. And every human being has that attribute in themselves. You need to sharpen it. You need to be creative. In fact, you will be so influential when you are creative with your ideas, when you find new ways of doing the same thing. Creative. Creative. Do you know that the richest set of people in the world are those who are creative in what they do? A good number of them are into tech. And it's all about creativity in that space. You want to be a cutting-edge leader, you must be creative. Think through problems to come up with solutions. Solutions that will help redefine the status quo and make things easy for people. Number 3, engage the power of discipline. Engage the power of discipline. Engage the power of discipline. You want to be a cutting-edge leader, the one that people can refer to as the benchmark, the pace setter, the frontliner. You must engage the power of discipline. I want you to listen to what I wrote here. I said, get used to a routine. If you must engage the power of discipline, you must get used to a routine. Routines are the building blocks of consistency. And you are successful as you're consistent or your consistency in any field. If your success defines you, then your routine propels you. If your success defines you, then your routine propels you. Your routine drives you. What are your routine? Disciplined people, highly disciplined people, are people who have a routine around their life. They are not used to doing many things. They are used to doing certain things because their life's focus is on achieving their goal. If you are an athlete and you want to be a world star athlete, you want to be an Olympic gold medalist, then your life is not going to go the average way of others. You won't eat anyhow. You won't go everywhere anyhow. There are habits you will not pick up. There are things you must do consistently. I watched a video clip of, one of the best strikers of the world in football. He's called Victor Osimhen. He's a Nigerian like me. One of the best, scoring so many goals even in recent times. And he was interviewed in that video clip. I watched just a clip of it. And he said when he was playing for the Italian league, Serie A as they call it, they were playing against a club that had Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that was when he was playing for Juventus. And Cristiano Ronaldo's team had just lost to him. So he spoke to the goalkeeper, who was also a star goalkeeper of Cristiano Ronaldo's team, that he wanted to take a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo. So he said, okay, you know what, just follow me, get him to. And then he sat down, he waited for over 30 minutes because he wanted a photo. I think he even said he waited for up to an hour. Only for him to realize that while he was waiting, Cristiano Ronaldo was carrying weights. He was training. He just finished a game. The next thing is to shower, go home, and relax. He was training. What were you training for? He wasn't playing a game the next minute or the next hour. That's how much discipline has been integrated into his system. Instead of him sitting down to mourn one loss, no, he's going back to train again. And he said that hit him so hard. Maybe that's the reason why he's one of the best strikers in the world now. I'm talking about Victor Osimhen himself. Let your routine drive others to succeed. Can people look at your life in 24 hours and decide that they are going to succeed? Decide that they are going to be useful to themselves? You can't do everything. You know, many of us are always trying to please other people, and you set a high goal for yourself that you know can only be achieved when you are consistent to a particular routine. It won't work. You can't do everything. You can't be there for everybody. Even Paul the apostle in the Bible said, "This one thing I do." What are those things you do? Somebody wants to lose 100 pounds in 3 months, in 6 months, and the person is not careful about what they eat. They eat anyhow, sleep, drink everything they see. They go to gym once in a week. Maybe you would have added the 100 pounds you want to lose. Now, I'm not an athlete, so I shouldn't be going to the gym every day. For me, going to the gym should just be to keep fit. The place I need to stretch more are my mental muscles. How many times in a day do I think to come up with solutions? How many problems do I examine to see how it could be solved? How many materials do I consume every day? How much time do I spend to meditate? Because my success lies in the routine, my mental routine. So create your routine around your choice area of success. Engage the power of discipline. Be disciplined with your time, with your diet, with your relationships, and the people you allow around your cycle. Be disciplined about where you go to. Be disciplined about what you feed your mind with. Be disciplined about everything around you. Yeah, somebody said behind every story, behind every success, there is a story behind. Yes, behind every success, there is a story. Of course, that story includes the routine of that individual. Number 4, build strategic relationships. Build strategic relationships. You want to be a cutting-edge leader, you must build strategic relationships. I mean, time and time again, we've talked about it on this show. The importance of not just relationships, strategic relationships. He that walks with the wise will be wise. A companion of fools will be destroyed. If you want to go forward, who do you walk with? Who do you talk to? Who do you give access into your life? Somebody says your company determines your destiny. Yes. Yes. Someone once said, if you want to travel fast, travel light. If you want to travel far, travel alone. And you know, sometimes you can have a vision that is so compelling or intimidating that can scare others away from you. And I'm not saying be proud about it, no. I'm just saying be bold and courageous enough to pursue it even when others are not ready to go that far. Listen, let me tell you the truth. Not very many people are ready to succeed. It's the truth. Many people wish many things, but not very many people are determined to succeed in whatever field that they have been planted. So your choice and decision to succeed has pitched you against some people. Time will tell. There are a lot of people who complain, who feel that people are the reason why they are where they are. There's a point you get to where you need to shave off those people from your life. So, build strategic relationships with mentors, with friends. Look for people who have gone ahead of you, who are where you are heading to. Let them inspire you. Don't feel intimidated by their results. Feel inspired. Look for people around you whose passion as compelling as your own. It's always a wonderful thing to pursue and arrive at the place of destiny in a company of like-minded people. Look for people who have the resources needed for where you are going to, whether they are mental resources, material resources, financial resources, or even spiritual resources, and partner with them. And then number 5, not many people will agree with this one, but I think it is true. Understand the role of the supernatural in your quest for success. Understand and embrace the role of the supernatural in your quest for success. For somebody else, this number 1 or this number 5 point can be written in one word: pray. For those of us who are people of faith, it's simple: pray. Because your success can highly accrue to your advantage, the supernatural. Okay? So pray. Commit the energy of the supernatural into what you do. Let God be at the forefront of what you do, and at the core. Let that be your mantra. Let that be your secret formula to succeed. All right, that's how much we can take for today. Let's see if we have any questions. Oh, no questions. So maybe next week I'm going to come back with many questions. Next week we are going to contrast between 2 kinds of leadership, and I would like you to choose which one you would want to portray, which one you would want to emulate. We're still discussing the cutting edge leader. That's my desire, and I believe that is yours this season. So we'll come back next week and we'll talk about that. But I look at all the points and I see that we really followed the discussion so far. I just believe that the session today has been able to motivate and inspire somebody to know that success is not rocket science. It's something you can achieve. And you're not just achieving it for yourself, but so that you can be a role model, an inspiration, a benchmark for others within that field. One that others can look at as a pace setter, as a frontliner, as a spearheader. One that goes against the tides and walks against the norm to create new pathways of success. That's who you are. It's in your DNA, it's in your destiny, and you can become it. You don't have to be the smartest. You just need to have a will that is strong enough to compel you, a vision that is strong enough to propel you to where you ought to be. So I think it's been a wonderful session today. Let me know your thought about today's session in the comment. Yeah? Where's the question? Okay, Daddy, I have a question, sir. This is Blessing Osage. At what point does one's desire to be outstanding becomes an obsession? That's why I spoke about a healthy ambition. I think when your desire to become outstanding becomes an obsession, then you are ready for success. So, not to say in that question, not to say that when it becomes an obsession, it becomes negative. No. Of course, there's an extreme to it. That's why I said a healthy ambition. There's an extreme of, succeeding at all costs, no matter what. No. You'll be tempted to cut corners or go against laid out principles. But your desire to be outstanding can only manifest when it becomes an obsession. When it's an obsession, you sleep about it, you dream about it, you talk about it, you think about it. it's in you everywhere you go. That's when it becomes a part of you and pushes you to succeed. So I think your desire must become an obsession if you must succeed. I think so. I think so. Just like some people, their desire of drinking Coke has become an obsession. And I don't know if there's a raffle draw, if Coca-Cola is having a raffle draw, maybe because of the amount of Coke bottles you have consumed, they should just suspend the raffle draw and give it to people like you. At least you have gathered enough Coke bottles to make them know you are a fan of that. Now, if people can have unhealthy obsessions in their appetites, I think we can have healthy obsession towards achieving our goals. Think of how many people you can inspire, you can influence. When was the last time somebody sent you a message, an email, thanking you for being a source of inspiration and a role model, a motivator? When was the last time you created solutions for others? These are the questions I want to leave you with as we return back in 2 weeks' time. Nurse a healthy ambition to succeed. Playing by the rules, yes, but succeed so you can influence those around you. Everyone is looking for someone to influence them. You can be that someone. The choice is yours. Thank you so much. God bless you. Let me know. Send me your email on my email, my email address, which is being displayed for you. Send me an email. Let me know how this show today has really inspired you. Let me know your favorite point, your most favorite point among the qualities of a cutting-edge leader. We're coming back in 2 weeks' time for the part 2 of this. God bless you. Have a lovely evening and a beautiful weekend ahead. Bye for now.